Hello, guys. Um, it's Chris. Excuse me. I figured I'd make a video because I don't have anything better to do on this Sunday, and my anxiety's kind of spiking. So I felt like maybe it would help me if I, did some kind of video or something. At least just talked out loud, and whatnot, and didn't feel so bad since I'm making a video, and it's not like I'm talking to myself. I guess not as bad, I guess, but. Well, mainly, just my relationship anxiety is kind of taken over. Um, it's really hard to be separated from my fiance. It's not as bad, like, I go to work, she goes to work, we come home, but she's been gone all weekend, so. And it seems kind of childish and whatnot, but I've been spiking so bad lately. And I've been doing things that annoy her, and just asking all kinds of questions, did this happen? Did anything happen? Stuff like that. And it's exhausting. And it's like if I don't ask these questions, it's like it's a compulsion. If I don't ask the questions, I it just eats at me until I'm forced to do it by my mind, I guess. um, it's annoying. It's exhausting. It's debilitating. It's more or less messing my relationship up. I did leave my therapist a voicemail today. So hopefully he'll get back to me and I can set up an appointment and I can start getting the therapy that I need. I just hope I haven't ruined it this far. And it's a difficult road, and you never can really expect anybody to understand because they're not in the situation. Of course, they can guesstimate, you know, how you feel or how upsetting it has to be in your head, but they can never really know, and you can't really expect them to know either. It's it's just one of those things, right? Like it's just hard for me. I worry this is gonna happen. I worry that's gonna happen, and I'm a big worrier, and I worry so much about her. I worry so much about us. It's a lot to deal with. I mean, for her, I know it's got to be exhausting, and for me, it just drives me nuts. um, I I just really hope I can get the help that I need. Um, yeah, I made a Facebook post and I said that sometimes I just wish I could be put away like a padded room, put on like happy meds to where I just don't know anything, don't know where I'm at, don't know who I am. I feel like that would be helpful sometimes. I'm not on medication anymore. You know, Here recently, I'm acquiring the funds to where I can actually get the help that I need, and I'm taking the steps to do it. But it's rough to expect anybody to understand and to deal with this and to deal with you. I really do love the woman, and mental illness, it'll take everything from you if you let it. And I'm on the verge of letting it take everything from me because it's just so hard to fight. It's so hard to fight. It's an insane thing. That's all I can say. You know, I'm sitting here going nuts because I don't know this or I don't know that, and you know, I text her several times, and I'll call and stuff, and like I'm not a psycho. I'm not. I just it's hard to explain, but it's like something will pop into my head, and then excuse me, something will pop in my head, and then I'll think of a scenario like, oh my God, what if she's gotten, kidnapped or something, and that'll pop into my head, and I'll think of the scenario, and then it's completely irrational. It really is. I mean, it doesn't make it impossible. It's just you have no reason to think that. Like, you have no signs of that happening. So why would you? Why would that pop into your head? Kind of thing. But for me, it's like it's completely rational. It's not something that's like, wow, you're crazy. It's like it's not going to happen. No, like in that moment, that's what's happening. And my God, it's it's crazy to think where my mind has led me over and over and over, because it's like I think of the most irrational things, but to me it's like they're so believable. It's like it's just hard. Like, I'm actually praying for work tomorrow, so maybe I can get some of this off my mind and whatnot, and maybe things will be better. That's what I'm hoping, is that things are better. I'm a very negative thinker when it comes to things like this. You know, one little fight to me is like groundbreaking. It's oh my God, what if this is over? It's that kind of stuff, and it's not a good feeling. I don't mean to act so crazy, but if you if you know me but you don't know me, you would never think I would be dealing with anything like this. And I hear on the daily how, oh, I'm so OCD, I've got to do this. It's like, no, it's so. I wish that's what I considered OCD. I wish that was all I had to do was, make my cup straight, or maybe make my mirror straight or something. Like, I wish that was the case, but it isn't. It's nothing like that. I have the most irrational thoughts that transform into completely rational ones. So I freak out and ask so many questions that's already been answered, and it just pushes people away, relationship wise, friendship wise, all of that. It just pushes people away, and it's not something that at this point I can fight. Like, I do my best to, I really do. It's just hard because if I don't ask these questions and I don't say this or say that, it eats at me, and I feel so awful. Like, I feel so sick to my stomach. It eats at me, and it's so difficult to cope with. You know, I've gotten worse, I've gotten better, but here lately it just seems like I've gotten worse, a lot worse. You know, I guess it's also me like not having the confidence that I used to have due to all this, because every worry seems like it's going to happen. And I mean, with OCD, it's one of those things to where in my mind I have to know this isn't going to happen. Like, for example, I have to know I'm not going to get in a car wreck tomorrow. Or I have to know that this person's not going to leave me. Like, let's say, like, Laura, she's not going to leave me. Like, I have to know this. And there's no way of knowing anything for sure. I mean, that's just life. It's like, there's no knowing that I won't go into work tomorrow and get fired or something. Like, I hope it doesn't happen. Like, I pray to God nothing like that happens, because I feel like I'm just not getting my life on track. But there's no way of knowing for sure. But with me, I have to know. I ask countless times, do you love me? Stuff like that, because I just worry. Um, this anxiety, this OCD, this illness it's taken so much out of me over these past couple years. It's gotten increasingly worse, and it's It's something I wouldn't wish on anybody because for me, I look as everything as a sign. Okay, if this person's not texting me, then something's wrong. Or if this person waits 10 minutes to text me back, what are they doing? If this happens, then it obviously means I look for signs in everything, and I make those signs even if they're not there. I make them there, and I make them in my head. They are there, and I really hope I haven't fucked it all up. Basically, you know, it's like I'm doing my best to stay strong and to try not to worry so much, but I'm okay for a while, and then it comes back, and I just kind of let loose. Like she went on this trip, and I was okay. First day or so, I was okay, but I'm just spiking so bad, and I don't want to like deal with fighting or anything, but I have to ask these questions, and it's exhausting. I'm not. I hate that I feel like I'm. This is a cop out because I'm not one for cop outs. I have experienced so much heartache and so many issues in the short almost 23 years now, and everything that I have done, I cannot blame it on anything but me. Now, granted, it's not my fault I got handed the cards that I got handed. It was just at random. And each day I'm working to, you know, cope with that and be okay with that. It's exhausting to see people on social media that are so happy, and in my mind, I can't be happy because the moment happiness strikes for me, which it has since I've been with Laura, it's like it just goes downhill. It's like I'm waiting for the inevitable to happen. That might not happen. It might happen. It might not. But just because things have happened in your past doesn't mean they're going to happen now. But it's so hard for me to understand that to a day-to-day basis. I'm sitting here staring at my monitor, because I don't have a camera or anything, so you guys can't see it. But it's hard for me to believe all this stuff that I say, like it's going to be okay, nothing's happened, blah blah. It's hard for me to believe it once I click off this recording, and I just desperately wish I could get some help to where I don't ruin everything that I touch because of this. I feel like I'm going through like a silent struggle in my head because I try not to let these emotions out or anything because I just don't want to bother with it. Everything that's happened to me, family members lost, mom, grandma, house lost, no relationships lost. It's taken a toll on me, but I've done my best to deal with it by myself. And although I feel like that's made me stronger, I feel like that's destroyed me to an extent. Like I was thinking the other day when I was driving home, after everything that's happened, I've came back from everything, but I don't think all of me has come back from anything. And I feel like meeting Laura, and she's slowly finding the pieces to put back to where I can actually kind of be whole again. And with that comes this great fear of what if I lose her, or what if I lose this, or what if my life completely changes and I have to move out, and it's hard to think of that because I don't think there's coming back from that. I've came back from one too many things, and I don't think there's coming back from anything else at this point. what I've always done in the past is I've autopiloted life whenever something bad happens. I have my nightly cries where I'm alone and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs and driving down the road 2 o'clock in the morning, just driving the streets so I can turn music on and scream in peace and you know shout, cry, all that. But for anyone that does watch this, get get help whenever you're having these issues because if you don't, it's just gonna linger. My obsessiveness has it's gone from thing to thing to thing. Gay, straight, diseases, all that. It's gone from thing to thing to thing. It's like I beat one thing and then it latches on to another. And it's because I'm not beating the root of the problem. I'm just beating what it's hung on at that moment. So, but I just really wanted to talk to somebody, and I didn't want to sit here and talk completely to myself. So I feel better if I talk to myself. At least I'm recording a video for maybe 3 people to see if they actually watch it full through. Because I don't know how long this is. I haven't looked, but it's debilitating, and I don't think anybody will ever quite understand what OCD is and dealing with it on a daily basis until you actually have it. I feel like the joke, well, I have to have my room clean. I'm OCD about that. All those little jokes. I mean, they're not made to be hurtful. It's just people that don't understand. You know, OCD has like killed my life. It's constantly trying to take everything that makes me happy away from me. And there's not many things in 23 years that have made me happy. There's not many things that have made me close to happy, but I've found one, and it's trying to slowly take it from me. And I'm afraid of that, because I was in a hole last year. Yeah, June, July. I was in a bad hole. I was in the worst spot I think I've ever been in. And if you know what's happened to me, you know that's it's pretty deep. It's pretty dark. If that's the deepest hole, the part, the state of mind that I was in had to be pretty dark because I have lost every woman that has meant anything to me. My mom, my grandma. I have lost those people. I have lost everything I've owned. I've went from job to job. I've tried. I've tried everything to make this go away except suicide. And as much as it pains me to say it, like, I mean, that runs through my mind daily. And it's difficult because people say suicide's selfish. It's a selfish way to go out. It's a coward's way to go out. I don't think so. I think, honestly, if you have the strength to commit suicide, then you're you're pretty strong. You're not a coward. You know. You know. Sorry, I have a text message. Like, it's just easy. It's easy to handle life like that, Like, if you can get up the strength to do it, if you can get up, sorry for the pauses, I'm like texting. If you can get the strength to do it, I see why people do it. Some people weren't meant for this world. They don't have the ability to constantly deal with getting hit, getting thrown down, getting beaten by people, things, words. And people don't I see memes and it's just like this generation's the pussy generation, blah blah blah. Man, with the way things are, of course the depression rate's like spiking. Like with the way people are treated for being different and things and mental illness is being treated, of course things are people are taking their lives more and they're just tired of things. You can't blame them, man. Like you can't blame them. But whether or not I believe in God is it's always a thing. You know, I went back and forth, but at the moment I do. Uh, and the only thing I can really do at this point is pray for the strength to walk forward because I'm not going backwards. I'm not going backwards. Regardless of everything that I go through in my head, I'm not going backwards. Yeah. But it's just a little rambling from a very sad man at this point who is spiking with anxiety and who doesn't know how to change it at this point. But if you watch this, you listen to this, whatever, get help if you need it. If something big happens in your life, don't hold it in and fight it yourself. Get help if you need it. But I'm gonna hop off here, try to take my mind off things. So thank you for watching. Bye.